It's so great to be here, you guys. Thank you, Renata. Thank you, LA84, for having us today to talk about this super important topic, but most importantly, to talk about the fantastic work that these two amazing Bruins, I might add, have done. UCLA's in the house. I had to bring my Jays, my UCLA Jays out for this moment, but you know, they are philanthropists, they are entrepreneurs. You know, yes, someone might be a fantastic basketball star, and I'm also talking about Nina. But that being said, today we're going to talk about the work that their foundation does and the work that they are doing around play equity. So with that, Nina, I'm going to come to you first, girl. Tell me about the Why Not Foundation. Tell me about the work that you're doing around play equity and kind of your holistic approach to how sports affects kids.
Well, I will say that the original idea behind the Why Not Foundation and the name, I would let Russell talk about, but the whole idea of having an impact on our youth and knowing the importance of creating a well-rounded and balanced experience for children to grow and really be able to thrive, and also understanding the importance of being able to provide those resources necessary for them to be successful in today's society, not only in sports, but in life after sports as well.
It's so important. Russell, why not?
Why not? Well, the foundation started off based around strictly education, and the mantra why not is something that I live by, my family live by. I would love to, you know, entire world to live by. It instills confidence, courage, you know, a passion is something that I want to continue to instill into our kids, especially our youth in our underserved community, especially here in Los Angeles and globally as well. And that's kind of the reason why I started the Why Not Foundation, and that's where the name comes from. So
I love it. And no one ever is going to put you in a box, and I feel like Why Not truly embodies that we can talk about that. So let's talk about a little bit, and we were talking backstage a bit about this holistic approach. What are some of those things that the foundation will provide that you shared with me in the back that are important to a student athlete's growth in their holistic approach?
I would say education for sure, and community engagement. We have mental health and wellness, mental health awareness. It's so important, and
workforce development.
Fantastic.
And so both of us having experience, Russell growing up in the inner city and me experiencing working with those populations that are most in need in our communities, we know that success comes from being able to put every piece together in order to create the best outcome.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. And so you partnered with LA Promise Fund, and you're starting the Westbrook Academy. You want to share a little bit about the academies? And there's two of them even.
Yeah, so we partnered with the LA Promise Fund about a year and a half ago to start the Westbrook Academy here in the inner city of Los Angeles, which consists of a middle school and a high school, and right now we got about 300 plus kids, and our focus is just to give our kids in the city and our underserved communities a place of a safe haven for education, for their families a safe haven, to give them all the resources they need to be successful in our world and our society today. There's so much going on, and want to be able to give them the resources on the mental health side, on the sports side, on the educational side, be able to prepare them for college and life after college, and give them all the resources we need. So I'm super proud and thankful and blessed to be able to partner with LA Promise Fund and be able to have the Westbrook Academy. So super excited about that.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I just want to add to that, from a mental health perspective, it's really challenging when you're working with students and you're working with communities that are underserved, and you know that all of the struggles and different things that they have going on at home that you don't really have too much of an impact over, or you don't have control over. So having the Why Not Academy has been so great to know that we can provide them that safe space that they need to be successful when they are not at home. That's been really key, I think, to the success and getting kids graduating and so on and so forth.
That's fantastic, you guys. She's a certified marriage and family therapist, so she knows what she's talking about when we're talking about mental health, right? And we're having this conversation and really normalizing mental health. And I want to go back just a little bit, because when we talk about student athletes and their journeys, there's so many aspects of what makes them successful on the court, but especially off the court. And so we've talked about, mental health, we've talked about how it's a pathway for education, but how is the academies continue? What are some other things as far as job readiness that you were talking about that's going to help them off the court and help them really achieve that why not attitude?
Yeah, one thing I was big on when I first partnered with LA Promise is creating like this family kind of internal thing for the kids. I want to be able to give them a resource and a sense of comfort. Kind of like Nina mentioned, a lot of kids have different things going on in their homes that we're not privy to on campus, and I want to be able to give them resources, have activities, do fun things that kids like myself that grew up in the inner city weren't able to do. And I want to be able to do that through the Westbrook Academy by making sure that whether it's sports, whether it's going on field trip, whether it's going to the expo, whatever it is, gives them an opportunity to be able to be successful and have all the resources for them.
That's fantastic. And more we're seeing organizations come together. So for instance, you partnered with LA Promise versus starting from scratch and starting new, right? And so it gives a lot of organizations that visibility. Is that your preferred way? You partner with different organizations?
Yeah, I think it's, I'm not big into like reinventing the wheel. I like to be able to go and connect with people that have the same values and the same mindset kind of as myself and our family and the things that we feel that's important, especially to the community. And LA Promise Fund was big on underserved African American communities and across the world, not just here in Los Angeles. And that was something I connected to right away. And hopefully we can make Westbrook Academy, a big thing, and hopefully we can move it to other places as well.
And I will say that the way that the foundation has kind of evolved is a testament to just the society and how things are kind of moving forward. And I think that as we see a need, we always are looking to figure out new ways that we can fulfill those needs. Like we started out doing reading rooms, and then it started out with workforce development in tech, because obviously we see the world going in that direction. And so I think it's great because we're so open, and Russell's so open to new ways that we can help to create the total package in terms of what we're able to offer through the foundation. And then the Why Not Academy is the next step, the most recent step in that.
That's fantastic. And I feel like it's not just LA, right? I mean, you've made impacts in Oklahoma City, you've made impacts in, we had our woo, do we have some Oklahoma City in the, okay, we got one right here in the front. Also in Houston, I think too as well. It feels like that you're spreading it across nationally, even though you're also starting here. Is that the goal?
Yeah, the goal is to impact and inspire as many people as possible. And regardless of where I'm at in the world, I believe that God has blessed me with a platform of playing basketball, and that's a small part of my life and our lives, and I want to be able to use that to be able to impact as many people globally, inspire them to do so many great things. So any city that I've come across, my first thing of order is to connect with the community, because that's what's most important. The people of underserved that really care and matter, and all people matter, and I want to be able to make sure I connect with as many people as possible.
It's fantastic. You guys, I was doing research from food. Yes, give it up, you guys, because the work is amazing. From Coachella to helping young Black girls in STEM and STEAM, to food banks, right, to academies, to mental wellness. They are just literally spreading this beautiful impact and heart across the entire country through the foundation. And it's just so beautiful to watch. We talked a little bit about where we are in the world right now, right? And it's tough, right? We've had some really tough decisions. We're not going to get too political, but everybody needs to vote. Okay. That being said, there's a lot going on in our world, from a global pandemic to all of the social injustice that we faced, and especially within Black and brown communities, right? And so when we had the shutdown, that disproportionately affected our communities. How did you all see that from the eyes of the foundation, and how were you approaching that?
Me and Nina used to be like sitting at home, and I used to kind of go back and forth with her. Like I felt like I wasn't, and we weren't doing enough. Like I would always try to figure out what more can we do. A lot of people talking, and but I'm more about action and impacting as many people as possible. So we connected with different programs we thought that were beneficial during the times of need, whether it was, we connected with the mayor at the time to be able to give people little debit cards and cards to be able to give family food. We connected with school systems and giving kids computers at their home so they continue their work and through tech. And we just was trying to find ways to connect with the people, because I think that's what was most important, instead of just kind of sitting in our home and kind of waiting. And there were so many things happening. People were losing their lives, people were losing family members, and it was tough times for everybody. So we wanted to find ways to connect as any way as possible. There was no strategy. It was really waking up and like, let's figure out what we can do. And that's kind of, that was the approach that I had.
That's fantastic.
And from a mental health standpoint, I think that the focus became a lot about grief and loss and how to cope with that, and also everything that people in the mental health, who are already familiar with mental health or dealing with mental health concerns or issues in their own families. I think during the pandemic, we saw a lot of that actually get a little bit more significant and become a little bit more significant, not for just only people dealing with mental health issues, but people who weren't necessarily in touch with what was going on. I think we get caught up in our daily lives, and we're so busy keeping schedule of everything we have going on. We don't really take a time to step back and think about how we're doing emotionally, socially, and physically until we're at a point where we're burnt out. And I think that was a huge turning point for people to understanding that focus and that need for mental health and wellness was there. And I feel like we've made huge strides, even though, we still have a long ways to go.
We do, and you all are helping us get there. I would be remiss, so of course all of my loves are coming together on this stage, from UCLA to basketball with the Sparks, and now at the Academy of Motion Pictures. And this gentleman has executive produced a short, and it really talks about an experience that you see a young baller and a young techie go through in the pandemic. Can you tell a little bit about Why Not, the short?
Yeah, we collaborated, Brand Jordan as well, and some great young actors and actresses in the film, where we wanted to create this film where we had a couple kids from the inner city that had kind of two different goals. One was big into sports, other one was big into tech, and we wanted to be able to show how it is difficult, not just for the kid, but in the inner city, to be able to have access and resources to things, and how working together as two kids, and you'll see in the film that they work together to be able to create something that's really dope, whether they created these dope glasses, you guys can check it out, but just want to create a film that shows how positive things can happen in a community when you work together, and it was a great film.
It was fantastic. It tackles everything from mental health to the disparities within our communities, to don't assume that just because someone is tall and black that they're going to play ball, that they might be able to invent the next dope technology as well. And don't assume that the basketball player isn't interested in building an empire also. So kudos about the movie. It was absolutely fantastic. And you could see Dina's influence throughout. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, two more questions, and then we're going to get out of here, you guys. But the first one is, what's next for the Why Not Foundation?
Next, we are continuing to build our school, Westbrook Academy. We are continuing to work with programs closely in the inner city of Los Angeles, creating different things, job creation, finding ways to build a workforce and create jobs for our youth, and finding ways to connect and constantly, whatever that may be. I'm big into always seeing what's the need and acting on that right away. And I think our biggest part, which Nina comes in a big help, is our mental health side, just making sure we're implementing that in everything that we do, whether it's through school, whether it's to the normal day in, because I do believe that having someone on campus or in school and sports that's on the mental health side that can help our youth just express things and get them off their chest is big for us, and that's something that we're steady expanding on and making sure we're partnering with the right people to make sure it goes where we need it to.
That's fantastic.
And I would say, even at the highest level of competition, the players and athletes are afforded mental health resources. They are, more and more teams are having mental health professionals travel with the teams, and so that the players and their families have direct access at all times to mental health resources. And I will tell you, these are people, a lot of these guys are like Russell, they're growing up in the inner city. They're not where mental health stigmas are still very much so a big thing. And the way they connect with these mental health providers, whether they're psychologists or marriage and family therapists, on the road and in the hallways and after practice, you wouldn't believe. And it just goes to show how much it's necessary and how much it's important and needed. And so I think that making sure to start implementing these resources and giving them to students at a younger age so that they can start to benefit from them as they grow is going to be part of our focus moving forward.
Life-changing, absolutely, absolutely. All right, y'all, you ready for the last question? Favorite all-time artist? Rapper, singer, musician, go.
Okay, this is hard for me. I have two.
Okay, you can pick two. You can pick two. It's fine.
I have two. I love Drake. I don't know why.
All right, Drake. Okay, give it up for Drake.
Like
Summer 22.
Me. And I love Kendrick. I feel like he also understands
all right,
me.
okay. Love
Those
it.
are my people.
Those are our people. Drake and Kendrick. Drake and Kendrick, yes? Okay.
Yeah, I'm West Coast always, so K-Dot. Kendrick is my go-to, yeah, but all the West Coast artists are my people, so, but K-Dot is my number one.
I love it. All right, I love it. It's West Coast all day, y'all. So for West Coast all day. You guys give it up for Nina and Russell Westbrook.